Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got something pretty cool to show you that we're going to try to bring back to life, and that just so happens to be this Chevy Beretta right here. So this is a 1990 Beretta GTZ. So it has the quad 4 dual overhead cam engine in it, which a lot of people are not a big fan of because they are known for being pretty problematic. But you know, it's I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for an absolutely ridiculously cheap price and thought, you know what, let me get another Beretta because I miss my first car dearly, which was a 95 Chevy Beretta. So I've had, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 of them, I think including the Beretta in my life, and I just got a really soft spot for these cars. So anyways, it sat in the guy's yard for about 12 years, I want to say. The paint is obviously screwed on it. You know, no surprise there. It had been repainted at some point, and you know, it's just all flaking off. The spoiler's cracked. Tires need to be replaced. They're too bulky, too big of tires. The sidewalls are way too big on those. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it really isn't too bad. I mean, I guess. It kind of stinks in there. Obviously it needs to be thoroughly cleaned. The unfortunate part about it is that if this car didn't sit for as long as it did, it probably wouldn't look too bad in here. So I went to the junkyard today and I was getting parts for this 2004 Impala SS that I have, and I stumbled across the Lumina Z34 while I was there, so I was able to get the Lumina steering wheel and the Z34 hood vents, which is kind of exciting for this car. So I don't know. The biggest dilemma right now is that the brakes are seized up. So we need to get the thing jacked up and see which brake is keeping the thing from being able to move, because I need to get it into the back there to get it next to the garage. So then maybe we can try to get it to run. I don't think we're going to do that on this video, but let's figure out what's up with these brakes and then kind of discuss what the future plans are with the car. Okay, so the left rear wheel is what was seizing us up there. Brake hardware is broken on that. That might have happened when I was taking it off. You can see it's pretty nasty in there. It was just locked up against the shoes, so no big deal. I mean, ideally I would put Dodge Neon SRT4 rear disc brakes on this thing and get rid of these drums entirely. So we're going to pop the wheel back on without the drum because the brake lines are popped anyways. So there is some rust here and there. This stuff is pretty crusty, but really no big deal. I mean, the whole point of this car is really going to be able to go to Beretta Fest. So next year it's in St. Louis, Missouri, and that's about 10 hours from here. And I don't really want to haul the Beretta that far. It's a big risk taking a car like that, even on a trailer, anywhere. So the best place for that car is to stay in the garage, get started occasionally, and just preserve it. Because if anything ever happens, once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. So this is for me to be able to enjoy driving a Beretta again and being able to go out and thrash on it without having to worry about damaging anything or wrecking, or somebody wrecking into me, a one-off car. So anyways, now why did I want a quad 4 car? You know, it wasn't just because it was a smoking hot deal. It was because I was looking specifically for a quad 4 powered car. This popped up and I went and jumped all over it. So you know, even with the bad rap that they have, back when they came out, quad 4s were a pretty impressive engine. I mean, they were putting out more horsepower per cubic inch than what V8s were doing at the time. So yeah, I mean, they only have 180 horsepower, and by today's standards, that's really not a whole lot. But even my Sonic, with a 1.4 liter with a turbo that runs like 15 pounds boost from the factory, it only makes 135. So right out of the box, this naturally aspirated dual overhead cam 2.3 liter 4-cylinder is putting out 180 horsepower. I don't know about the torque off the top of my head, but either way, all GTZs of the, the Berettas that came with the Quad 4, they did have a base model GTZ that came with a 3.1 liter. We won't get into all that. So the Quad 4 GTZs came, right off the get with a 5-speed manual transmission. You could not get an automatic in them. So this car is equipped with a 5-speed, which makes it even better. So some of the things that we're going to have to do here is get it running, first of all. I know we already looked under here, but let's start talking about some of the things I've already noticed. So right off the get, you can already tell this thing needs thoroughly cleaned. But you can see where some rodent got a little hungry there, and here too. But I will say I have cranked the car, and it does crank over. I shot a little bit of starting fluid into the throttle body, and it tried to start up. But I can tell you right now, with how long this car has been sitting, and given the condition of the rest of the car, it's definitely going to need a new fuel tank and a new fuel pump. More than likely it's going to need new lines because of how long it sat. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. If this car didn't sit for so long, then it probably wouldn't be in such rough shape. I mean, it was a pretty nice car, it looks like, when it got parked. So really, there was probably more damage done from the time it was sitting than what the original issue was, which we'll get to that there. The guy said that when he was going up the hill, which they have a really steep hill going up to their house, the car wouldn't pull up the hill, he said. It just wouldn't go. So instead of fixing it, they decided to park it. I guess that's what happens with a car that at that time was still 20-something years old. So I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, it could be as simple as a fuel filter. It could be that the cat is clogged up. It could be something wrong with the ignition system. It could be so many different things. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook the fuel system up using a tank that we had at the shop that we took out of a Pontiac Aztek. I'm going to hook it into that tank and put some gas in it and run that pump to try to get this engine running and see how it runs. Then we can kind of go from there and decide what else needs to be done. So as far as the body goes, I'm going to do those Lumina Z34 hood vents. I'm going to change that steering wheel out. I'm going to clean some things up. I'm not concerned about the paint on this car at all. If anything, I'll probably just take a rattle can, clean some things up, and spray it that way. I'm not really going for a show car. I'm going for something that we can get mechanically sound and then go out and have some fun in. The other cool thing that'll be happening with it, hopefully, is if this engine's all good, I'd love to take it to a dyno along with the Beretta and see just how much power the Beretta made, and then we'll kind of compare it to what the Quad 4 makes. So that'll be kind of a neat comparison, considering that that's a one-off prototype V8 and this was a production 4-cylinder. So if that is anywhere close to these power numbers, that might give a hint as to why they said, nah, we're not going to go that route. We're going to stick with the 350s. We're not going to release this V8 because obviously the Quad 4 is able to do everything just fine. So anyways, that's about it. I mean, the car has, let's see how many miles are on this thing. They had a bunch of junk in it that's sitting over here. I had to clean the thing out a little bit. I still can't get into the trunk, which kind of sucks. That's all right. You hear that needs to be greased. So it has 186,534 miles on it. So it's pretty impressive that a Quad 4 was even able to go that far. But that does give me hope that this is still a good engine. So I don't know. We'll get it pushed into the back, and then on the next video, I guess we'll start seeing if we can try to get this thing to run. Who knows? It might not run. Okay, so as you can see, we have got it in the back. Now we're next to the garage, we can actually get to work on it. So we'll do that on the next video, with this car anyways. We'll go ahead and get that fuel system hooked up, we'll start it up, see how it sounds, and then we can kind of decide what we're going to do from there. If this engine has a rod knock, any detrimental damage. Not entirely sure where we're going to go. It would kind of suck considering this car needs all the other work that it needs. So as you can see, the interior is going to need to be thoroughly cleaned. That's one of the main things that we have to do because this interior is gross. So it was a lot worse when all the other junk was sitting in it. Like I said, I still need to get into the trunk and even see what's in there. But yeah, we'll hop to it on the next video. And you know, as you can see behind me, we still got that Miata sitting back here. I think I've made the decision to go ahead and get rid of that car. So obviously, if any of you guys have any interest in a wide body Miata roller, it's got poly bushings in the control arms. Obviously, it's got that $2,500 wide body kit on it. It's a really nice starter body with like either 78,000 or 87,000 miles on it. I just need to get it out of my way. I don't think I'm ever going to get to doing anything with it, especially with the Sleeper GTP. We've got the 5-speed conversion kit that we're trying to do for the Grand Prix in general, or the W bodies. And then of course we have this, we have the Beretta. I mean, we've got a lot going on, you know, but that's what keeps the channel moving. You know, we keep projects coming in and hopping to them. And, you know, in future videos, for any of you that are watching the 5-speed conversion stuff for the Grand Prix, I'm gonna go ahead and move that from the shop that I work at to my home garage, just because it's going to be a lot easier to work on it rather than having to come all the way home, take care of the dogs, drive all the way back, and then work on it, and then drive all the way home again. It's just too much. I need to be able to sit down and actually focus on it, so I can't be worrying about doing all the running around on top of it. So that's going to end up back here very soon. So anyways, until next time, guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the subscribers that I have, all the views that I get, any comments that you guys make. I really, really appreciate it, and let's just keep them coming. Let's keep growing this channel. Let's keep doing some cool stuff, and then, you know, even if you don't think this is too cool, it's going to be really neat to see this abandoned vehicle come back to life. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about at the end of the day, is just doing the things you enjoy, and you know, keeping in mind that anything is possible. So as long as you set your mind to it, you can achieve it, and you know, that's what I live by, and you can live by that too. So catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.